From policy point of view, do you think it makes sense to separate circular economy from bioeconomy?
I think that they are very much part of the same story, and so it does not make sense to separate them. At the same time, for the sake of communication, circular economy is something that is more widely understood, and it will require much more communication and awareness raising on what bioeconomy is and how that contributes to circular economy.
How is circular economy thinking incorporated in your business model?
At Metsä Group, circular economy is incorporated in fairly many ways in our functions. If we start really in the beginning from the forest, so we believe in sustainable forest management, so the wood, the main raw material, comes from sustainably managed northern forest. And that is nature's own circularity, because always if you harvest a tree, you have to plant 4 new ones, for example. And secondly, then in our processes, the water and chemicals are circulated. Also, we put a lot of emphasis on side stream circularity, so that they are used by us or someone else. And then for the products, I mean, paper and paperboard have very high recycling rate in Europe, and this, of course, is circularity very, very clearly.
How has this circularity in your business model affected your financial performance?
Circularity has been in our business model already for a long time. And of course it's beneficial if we can sell some of the side streams to somebody who is using it as a raw material. And those are very many examples, like tall oil, for example. And now when we are investing into this new bioproduct mill in Äänekoski in Finland, so the idea is to grow the turnover that has now been like 10% has been from this side streams, so that will grow to 20% in the first phase.
Joanna, what does bioeconomy mean for Europa Bio?
For us, bioeconomy means a new way of operating. It means moving away from a fossil-based economy and relying more on renewable raw materials as the basic feedstock for the things that we produce in everyday life. And this means everything from food to feed to fuels to materials.
How about circular bioeconomy? What does it mean?
For us also, the bioeconomy is circular by nature. It really stems from the carbon cycle, which in itself is circular. It's the production of biomass through photosynthesis and then the use of that biomass to make products, which are then recycled at the end of life. The exciting thing about the bioeconomy is not only that it's already circular, but the potential range of products that can come from the bioeconomy, which can fit into the goals of the circular economy. So one of the things that we look at very often is the fact that we have 100,000 chemicals currently on the market which are produced from fossil carbon. We actually have the potential to produce those from renewable raw materials, so from plant-based materials instead.
What kind of processes, products and technologies have the greatest potential to succeed in the future if we head towards a circular economy model?
There are a great number of products actually that could replace gradually fossil-based products. So we could be thinking about anything from plastics to chemicals to detergents to pharmaceuticals, cosmetics. So not only the potential to provide a lot of different products in those ranges, but also things like more nutritious food and feed. So a very, very broad range of products indeed. And these would all be, the benefit of producing them from renewable raw materials is that you source them locally, which creates jobs and growth in rural communities and also in coastal communities where things are imported. And it has also great potential for reindustrialization of former sites that are no longer productive by converting them into renewable raw material, bio-based product producing biorefineries.
To what extent have EU policies succeeded in supporting circular economy and bioeconomy while enhancing economic growth?
the work has only started. It's what we see with circular economy is that the Commission, the EU, have been identifying measures that can support circular economy. The same is with bioeconomy. There is funding instruments that are available, and there is discussion around how single market can help, how public procurement could help, how different mechanisms, incentives could be utilized. However, the reality is that this is very much ongoing work, which is why it's difficult to say what the kind of potential and the economic potential will be. The overall understanding is that the transition to circular economy, to utilizing the bio-based materials, will bring enormous benefits for consumers, can bring benefits for economy, for society, for businesses. However, the reality is that this is very much just a work in progress, and the real results we'll have to wait.